interesting to see how these teams react to not having played each other, at least on stream. Maybe they've scrimmed together, but we'll get game number 1 underway shortly here. Thank you guys for joining us. This is Nexus Commentaries. I'm DJ Tyrant. With me is the awesome Zexorus who put this all together. Thank you, man.
Thank you for joining me tonight. It's always been a dream of mine to get into casting this, and now we're making that dream real. So,
yeah, so we actually are in the lobby for game number 1. It looks like we are going to be headed to Battlefield of Eternity. Definitely a favorite of HGC teams. We see this quite a lot in HGC Pro. First time seeing it tonight in the open here, week number 6. But I'm curious to see how this draft goes. It'll be interesting to see what people decide to pick up. Vala probably hotly contested here. Are we going to see a Tyrande? Is the big question, I think.
I would be surprised if we see a Tyrande. I don't think the amateur scene has had enough time to feel her out. I know Roll20 has messed around with her with great success, as they've been on quite the tear here recently in the HGC. I believe Glarong calling it his one trick here recently, and but we'll see how this turns out. I know very little about the UNT Eagles. I do wish them luck tonight. They have a fearsome opponent in Donkeys Are Us. And this. I mean, but again, if I learned anything from the last game, it is you can surprise Donkeys Are Us.
Yeah, it looks like we are waiting for Italian to join in for our game to get this underway. But like you're saying, I'm excited to see how this turns out, how this series plays out, because we did see them struggle pretty handily in game number 1 last series. Talking about Donkeys R Us. If you're just now joining us, we did see Donkeys R Us earlier. Win their series 2-1 over
Team
No Sleep.
And
Elheim who we're waiting for.
So I believe that name's a Xenogears reference, and if it is, I love him for it.
Yeah, I believe it is. Wouldn't surprise me too much. Also, what is Elheim's portrait? That
was it Roman Reigner?
One I wasn't sure. No, it was not Roman Reigner.
Because I like that portrait. That's my new favorite portrait.
It is. Whenever we play, we need to coordinate all our portraits. Send fear into our opponents, because they watch on the loading screen. They're like, oh, those guys have their portraits coordinated. What else do they have coordinated?
Yeah, they might have this sick team play. No. Okay, Cat.
Getting attacked over there?
No, he wanted me to pick him up, and then he promptly puts his paws on my face.
Ouch! That's not good.
No, he's just like shoving me away. Like, no, get up out my face. So
F you.
Yeah, pretty much. What a jerk.
So yeah, here we go. We are getting the game number 1 draft on Battlefield of Eternity. Look for high auto attack heroes getting focused on in the early phases of these bands. Greymane, Lunara, Vala, all really good options. Since you only have two bands in the first phase here, at least one of those will be available and probably picked up. Oh, Malthael as well. Not a huge surprise.
We saw when we cast the Charity League this last Thursday, we ended up seeing a lot of Malthael Lunara combos on this map. It put in work, and Tassadar for another ban, and just really smart stuff coming out of both teams, knowing what heroes are really, really strong right here. We see the Garrosh come out of the Eagles. And keep in mind, this If you're just now joining us, Garrosh wreaked havoc on Donkeys R Us. Game 1 between them and Team No Sleep.
Yeah, it really did. And this is definitely one of the battlegrounds we see Garrosh on quite a bit. You can just set up some really interesting combos with the toss, and he's really good at defending against your opponent going in on your immortal. Say that the stun is coming out, you cue them in, they get stunned, you blow them up right after that, and that's call it a day.
Yeah, I would love to see some kind of disgusting toss into an immortal stun. Like, that would just make my day. We do see the Dahaka come out, followed by the Li Ming, and I like this decision making coming out of Donkeys R Us. The Li Ming just able to provide years worth of poke onto that immortal, sometimes able to just bring it down herself over the course of a very long extended fight, as we've seen someone like Crowan do.
Vala Rhaegar getting quickly picked up, and I was actually going to comment about the early pickup of the Li Ming. Surprised me a little bit. I was surprised that they didn't pick up Vala in that position, even though that would probably prompt an Ariel ban in this second phase. Giving up the Vala here worries me a little bit for Donkeys R Us, but we'll have to see how the rest of this draft plays out and the mind games they're able to play here to secure that Li Ming. It is a good hero. Just I'm surprised a little bit by how high up she's getting picked up in this series.
Yeah, definitely. I don't fault them for the early Li Ming pick. Again, she has an incredible amount of poke damage, so they're obviously not too worried about the immortal phase, because the only other way for you to stuff Li Ming poke onto an immortal is body block it.
This is the second time that they've banned out Cassia tonight.
We see the Greymane ban come out as well. They must really just... It must be like our Diablo. How Diablo just gives us fits if we're not playing it.
Yeah.
And they go for the loot. See, and this is the thing I've been seeing. More and more teams have been trying out the solo Lucio healer. And we see Arthas to back up that Dahaka. So nice and incredible amount of sustain for a tank on Arthas right there. Same with Dahaka. They've probably got the top 2 tanks in the game right now on their team. And this is going to be really interesting to see how Garrosh can handle this and who he's going to get paired with. I'm guessing they're going to pair him with a Sonya and maybe a Lunara.
I'd like to see the Lunara here. Definitely really giving they don't have a whole lot of dive outside of Dahaka and getting caught out by Arthas. I'd like to see maybe an ETC picked up for the second tank. Sonya is a good pick here, though. It would be interesting to see. Oh, we are going to see Tyrael picked up.
Now, who's going to
giving the sanctification? Oh, they're going to go with Melf. Oh man, I always worry about these all-in compositions where literally your one DPS has so much riding on their shoulders, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Malfurion build will be interesting to watch here, because I have a feeling it's going to be a little wonky and a lot less healing oriented.
I feel like if I'm Donkeys, I'm heavily considering a Stukov.
Yeah. I can see that.
I'm considering somebody who can drop a silence. Maybe a Sylvanas.
Yeah, Sylvanas would be interesting. We haven't seen her kind of in this meta lately, but I would like to see her kind of in this position. You see them kind of aggressively coming in. You send out the arrow and you silence Tyrael. Goodbye, sanctification. It's gonna be Falstad though.
That works. Good disengage, good engage, global presence. You can't go wrong with that kind of combo right there. So, and he does actually pair very well with the rest of this team. So we'll see how this goes. But we are going into Battlefield of Eternity for our final game of the night. Game 1 between Donkeys R Us and the UNT Eagles.
Eagles, yeah. So both teams going with just ranged DPS, which will be interesting to see which one reigns supreme. Once again, I'm a little worried about the Vala gets caught out by the Arthas at all or pulled in by the Dahaka. Probably going to get blown up pretty hard.
And I think that's why they went to Malfurion. They wanted that cleanse. Oh, they've got double cleanse actually. Now
yeah, they have double cleanse if they need it.
They're definitely I'm worried about the lockdown on the side of Donkeys R Us.
Yeah, I'm. Do you go double cleanse here?
I want to say no, but I wouldn't be shocked if it happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that same wavelength as we get into game number 1 between Donkeys R Us and UNT Eagles. On the left in the blue is Donkeys R Us, the number 2 points leader in HGC Open currently. We have Jin playing the Arthas, Soy Yusarian on Li Ming, LZ Gamer on Dahaka, Slice Blade playing Falsehead, and Elhaim on the Lucio.
And on the side of the UNT Eagles, we've got physicals on the Tyrael. We've got a quota on the Malfurion, Z Fury on the Vala, Kalgar on the Garrosh, and Akin on the Rhaegar.
Yeah, and here we go into our first phase of this game. It looks like both teams going a little bit of different strategy here. We're seeing Donkeys R Us sitting in the middle here, wanting to see if there's any sort of invade coming. We have UNT Eagles just pressuring this bottom lane. Or posturing to pressure the bottom lane. Hard to pressure without minions. Looks like we are going to have a little bit of a clash in the bottom here. Let's see if Garrosh goes for a target. Tried to get the Arthas, but Q not able. Oh, the toss does come in. The root comes down. Is the damage there? This was my concern with this lineup, and it's going to be not enough.
Yeah,
at least early game.
Well, and they already made Jin use his well, and that's going to come into play here in about 30 seconds to a minute when those immortals.
Ooh, wait. Tell me. Okay, we didn't see this on stream, but go ahead and look at that middle health fountain on the side of UNT Eagles. Falstead went and destroyed it.
That's so smart.
Yeah, I saw Falstead fly in from like the right side of the map, and so I was really confused as to why he was over there. But I panned over. There's no health fountain in the middle of that middle lane.
That's so smart. That's brilliant on the on
Oh, the toss on Arthas, the root comes down, but the damage is just still not going to be enough. We'll have to see if later in the game the damage is there. I'm wondering if we're going to see Strafe come out of Vala to make up for that lack of damage.
Not entirely sure, but we do see the UNT Eagles immediately just go on to the Immortal. Might not have been the wisest decision, as we have Donkeys R Us quickly collapsing the Eldruin's might into the middle of Donkeys R Us, and both teams kind of break off, disengage, and we're going to see a quick reset, and UNT immediately go for the Immortal again.
They go again. That could have been a really big disaster for them as if the fight continues. Oh no, Garrosh is all by himself here, and I fear he's not along for this world, but he is able to get behind the wall and stay safe. But that earlier engagement on this Immortal phase, there was a really great route by the Malfurion on UNT Eagles that allowed them to escape without losing a member of their team. They are going to go in on this and continue pressure. They're actually way ahead on the Immortal phase here.
Yeah, Vala was pretty much left unmolested that whole first half of the Immortal phase. We do see Tyrael go down there at the end, and this is going to this is where that missing fountain comes into play. Jin gets pulled back by the Garrosh Q right there. Another Hungering Arrow comes out, and they're doing a great job right now of just zoning out the Eagles.
Yeah, Tyrael does come back online. Here comes the damage into the side of Donkey's RS, but now they're starting to turn on Vala, and losing Vala is absolutely critical for UNT Eagle's success. They put on the damage onto LZ Gamer. They might be able to secure a kill here. The burrow happens, the trait doesn't come out, and that is a kill for them. They continue pressure, but they're so low life, and the resets are coming in on Li Ming, and that's 2 immediately down.
Yeah, Tyrael doesn't get any value out of his trait right there, but Fury is in a lot of trouble right now. He might get picked off, but Soyosarian is so low on mana at this point. Garrosh trying to pull her in and throw her, but Vala has enough time to get back to the Immortal, and this is definitely a race that they can win.
Yeah, they should be able to win this race pretty cleanly. They'll have about 25% shielding on this first Immortal, and that's a good win for UNT Eagles going into this. And they're behind a level, but they're winning the objective right now. They're going to I like this. They're going to push the bottom lane.
You're in so much trouble right now.
Can they get they dodges the root, but I think they should be able to secure a kill. No, they are actually going to back off of this. Had Vala had a vault, that would have been most likely a kill. But I like this push. They need to get the damage onto these towers here. They do toss Dahaka over. The root comes in, but he gets pulled out of it. They are continuing to pressure. That's a lot of damage coming out, and they do secure that kill with that Moonfire. Look at this Malfurion build.
He did go full Moonfire because he's not the primary healer, and that's what you do when you have Malfurion. The Moonfire build is so good. And I think people are actually finally coming around to it.
Oh, but here comes a rotation by Donkey's RS, a full 4v4 engagement right now. Z-Fury is completely out of position and can't help his team as Malfurion does get picked off. Z-Fury aggressively going forward and just putting some damage with that multi-shot out, but not enough to dissuade them from continuing to pressure this bottom lane. They're going to be able to pick up this camp and really put the heat on in this lane.
Yeah, I think that game with Team No Sleep definitely woke up. Donkeys are us, man. They're like, we're not playing around anymore. This is serious. These teams came to compete today.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to sleep on any of these teams, especially this deep into the bracket. These teams earned their keep into this deep portion of the bracket. Is we are going to see the Shaman camp picked up by both teams as we enter the next phase of Immortals shortly here. Yeah, and continuing that build, we have Lunar Shower as well picked up at level 7 by Malfurion. So it is going to be the single cleanse on the Rhaegar. Going to be the primary healer for UNT Eagles.
And something to note. Ooh, nice toss back from the Garrosh right there. Doesn't manage to get the kill though. A lot of damage though. Garrosh did go the self cleanse at 4, so there's another cleanse on the board. There's not many stuns, but there's enough cleanse that Rhaegar doesn't really have to worry about that Garrosh.
Yeah, Garrosh will have that available to get out of these Arthas roots pretty easily. And now both teams posturing to defend their Immortals, but Donkey's RS has the early advantage, having about 40% of the HP off of the enemy Immortal. And now this is a tough decision for both teams. Like, you don't want to give up an engagement here. The worst situation is going to be for UNT Eagles if they wait too long, as heroics will come online for Donkey's RS soon.
Yeah, this is the Eagles have a very small window. A nice throw onto Jin in the middle of 4 right there. And once again, the damage is just barely lacking.
Yeah, now they really got to back off here as heroics come online. Arthas is just continuing to pressure forward. There goes Falsehead to get the kill onto Malfurion, zooms up there, and now they're going to have to back completely off. And Garrosh, this is the main problem with Garrosh. You slow him down, and he's just unable to escape.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't have a throw-up on cooldown right there. That would have been pretty key.
We're going to see isolation out of Dahaka. We haven't seen that lately, I feel like, from most Dahaka builds, and that's really going to either force a cleanse out of the Garrosh or the Rhaegar, and that's going to burn a pretty big cooldown as they clean up this Immortal. They're going to have about a 75% shielded Immortal. They're going to grab, UNT is going to grab this camp up top and then have to rotate and respond to this Immortal.
I don't believe Garrosh can cleanse himself if he's isolated.
Oh, that's true.
So that was a.
I didn't even think of that interaction.
That's a really smart pickup. So, just a really smart idea.
Yeah, we do see Jin. We do see Jin picking up the Army of the Dead to get some sustain here. It looks like this would be a good place to pop it.
The sound
barrier does come down.
Oh, the sanctification does go down. LZ Gamer in a world of hurt right now, using that adaptation and his trait just to stay alive. The gust from Slice Blade comes in. The Falsehead does go down. A quota on that Malfurion is way in the back lines, and just everyone taking damage everywhere right now. And
yeah, but in the midst of this, the Immortal has just been pushing forward and not been focused on. Oh, are they going to be able to get the Rhaegar? No. Very close, though. Very
dangerous right there. Really, really good engagement and defense, really, out of the UNT Eagles right there. They still lost that fort, but they were down ultimates there for a while, and really, they did a good job of securing their defense despite a really bad situation. And now it's up to them to kind of capitalize on this momentary relief and pressure.
Yeah, they're going to pick up any camps that they feel secure in grabbing. And I am interested to see how the Vala damage is going to come out here. Brain of Vengeance does get picked up by Vala. I was kind of expecting the strafe just to make up for the lack of damage out of this team, but they are going to go for that stun, and maybe just an extra stun will be enough to secure some kills going forward.
Yeah, we see both teams taking their summoner camps right now. A little break in the action right before these Immortals spawn. We do see Physicals in the bottom kind of trying to push LZ Gamer off the siege camp here in the bottom, and a quota.
Look at this, both teams not picking up their camps right now, waiting for the Immortal phase.
Really, that's a smart idea. You want the most value out of those camps, but we see Kargar just absolutely get 40-man raid bossed on by
that was a reenactment of Warlord's Drainer right there. Poor Garrosh.
Yeah, he had a full bar of health, and then he was in the graveyard running back to his corpse.
Yep. Immortal phase is starting. We're gonna have both those shaman camps just pushing out their respective lanes, but I do like they are having the Falsehead respond to the top lane and be able to clear that out while the Immortals just get pushed down. Is UNT can't engage on this down 2 levels in a talent.
Yeah, and they acknowledge that, and they're just pushing out that bottom lane as much as possible. They're going to wait for the halftime show to start, and they're going to that's just a bad luck right there for
never ever lucky.
Oh, LZ Gamer goes for a ride, though. This could be a good chance for them, but he pops the adaptation. He's going to get that health back there. That pop is great. The Ancestral onto the Garrosh right there does come out, and the cube lands.
Sanctification is still up. Watch for Sanctification. They are still holding on to it. Rain of Vengeance still available as well. Can they secure a kill? Dahaka gets eliminated here, and now they toss back Arthas. Can they get another kill? It looks like they should be able to. They lose the Immortal phase, but they win the battle there, getting a 2-for-0 exchange. And Fury looking for more. A little bit of a dangerous spot, but going to be able to walk it back.
Yeah, this is this is a full health Immortal. This is going to be this is definitely getting this key or this fort top.
Yeah, the fort is definitely in trouble from this Immortal. They are putting a lot of damage onto it, though. But that Immortal at 13 minutes still puts out a lot of damage. And we're going to see, actually, the Tyrael rotate down to disrupt the Falstad from split pushing during this Immortal phase. Which is a good response. Oh, but LZ Gamer rotated down. And now Tyrael is in complete no man's land. Tries to Q out, but going to get blown up. But can the trait be enough to start an engagement? No, as the barrel roll comes out from Falstad. And now they counter engage onto the Rhaegar isolation, onto Rhaegar as well. This could be troublesome for UNT, but they put the damage onto Jhin and force out the Gust.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, if you're down 2 levels and you force out an ult heroic like Gust, that's kind of a win in my opinion.
And you got isolation out of that.
Yeah.
On the Rhaegar, so you only used 1 heroic during all of that. Warlord's challenge is down, but that'll be up for the next engagement. Sanctification is going to be available for the next engagement as well.
We see Donkey's RS group up as 4 while Dahaka takes his top camp. He's got to be careful because there's 4 right there, but this could get really ugly really quickly. Oh, Rhaegar gets thrown off the point. These are my mercenaries. You don't own them. The team fight does break out. Jhin is in the middle, eating zombies left and right in order to stay alive, and he's just suddenly in no man's land at this point. He's trying to get
but Garrosh is completely isolated from this engagement. The Ancestral does go on the Garrosh, but they can't re-engage off that because they're down this talent right now, and that's a huge cooldown that they had to burn to, and I don't think they even had to necessarily use it.
No, Bella's just 1 Hungering Arrow away from finishing that Hungering Arrow quest at level 4. And that's such a close race. If Vala got that 1 Hungering Arrow off, I feel like they could probably win this fight. And we're gonna see the race
Malfurion's also really close to finishing Moonburn as well. Here comes the race though, and we do see them push off UNT, and look at the amount of damage that Garrosh took on that front line. Yeah, and they're just going to lose this Immortal phase now with a really timely move. The quest gets completed.
Jhin taking a lot of damage, but Garrosh silenced and has to walk away. He gets wrecked. He might be going down. No, the Bloodlust does save him, and he does eventually go down, and that's just bad luck on the side of the UNT Eagles. They're having just Val's back's not wide enough to carry everybody right now.
Yeah, it's really tough, and especially when you're going up against a Li Ming that's beating you by a couple thousand hero damage. It just is a feels bad man moment. They're trying to get their shaman camp here, but Elhaim just dissuades them from even trying booping them off of the point there. And we do see level 16s though come online for UNT. This will be the turning point of the game for them. They have to defend this Immortal, which it looks like they're just going on the bottom side of the map to try to pick off some of the heroes from Donkey's RS that are pushing this lane.
But that also leaves the top wide open at this point. And the Eagles just having a little bit of time just playing off this back foot, and Garrosh really wants to land that Q onto somebody right now, but the Howling Blast from Arthas says, no, you don't want to try to come forward.
Yeah, bottom keep is actually going to drop in the midst of all this because of Dahaka and Falstad. You have to respect that global presence because they can just pop up in this top lane, start an engagement, and really give fits to UNT, but they're going to completely back off of this. They got the Immortal as much as they could through that top lane and got the keep down to about 60% HP. Although they do sniff out this camp from LZ Gamer. Is he going to have enough tools to escape from this? It looks like the case is maybe not.
The Falstead did fly bottom in an attempt to save him, but realized that he wasn't going to be in time to use that gust and just backed off instead.
I do like this though. Donkeys R Us. They're gonna take. No, they are gonna walk this camp up in the top lane in and try to get this keep. They're gonna get this keep. It's gonna be very hard for UNT to respond. They have 3 Hearthing back, but it's just not gonna be in time. But the Guts comes out, disrupting a bunch of the hearths there, and that secures the keep in the top. And that's no more structures for UNT.
Yeah,
as Donkeys R Us loses their first 4 to the game.
Yeah, this is uphill battle to say the least, but they are getting really aggressive at this point, and I like this. They don't want any additional pressure than what's already there coming out onto their keep. They're going to grab this aggressive minion camp. They actually trade camps as Donkeys R Us takes the right side summoner camp right there, and UNT have to respond to this, and they're just going to run back the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and the timing is just absolutely horrible for them because we have this Immortal Spine. Oh, and the spawn is just so perfect for Donkeys R Us. They're going to burn this down into the halftime phase very, very quickly. And there's still some creeps that are really going to be able to put some pressure onto the core.
There is a catapult on the core right now, slowly building that damage up. It will probably be taken out by the creeps, but UNT Eagles, they've got to make something happen. They've got to make something happen right now.
Yeah, they're going on the Immortal. They're starting to win this race as Donkeys R Us was out of position, but level 20s come online, and this is very scary for UNT, and you can see them immediately starting to back off of this. Tyrael gets focused on here. He does get the friendly toss out. The invulnerability does come out, though. Can they make something happen? The taunt comes out. Elham in so much trouble, but gets the shielding out.
And this is just probably the beginning of the end for game 1 for UNT Eagles right here. 4 down, and yeah, this is pretty much going to be the end of the line at this point. The fly comes in from the Falstead. I liked what they had going. They just didn't have enough damage to seal the deal. Like I said, Valor's shoulders weren't wide enough to carry that team. Almost, but I would have liked to have seen one more DPS, maybe instead of the not the
Malfurion.
Instead of the Malfurion right there. So, game 1 going to Donkeys R Us. And
pretty commanding fashion too. I was really impressed with their play, and really it almost felt like a bit of an outdraft on the side of Donkeys R Us, because UNT put themselves into a corner with that Vala pick and really relying so heavily on that, and just the Arthas pick was so key for Donkeys R Us in securing that victory, just because Arthas was nearly impossible to take down.
Yeah, he really was. He was such a pain in the side of the Eagles right there, and I kind of feel bad for him because they were like right on every single team fight. They were right on the cusp of taking those fights, and they just kept coming up just short.
Yeah, and you can see this in the death count on the side of Donkeys R Us. Arthas only 1 death, Leeming was 0, and Lucia was 0, and those are the 2 targets you really want to take out of fights to turn the tides in your favor. Tahaka died 4 times, but that's not going to help your team heavily turn the fight when you're already getting damage poked by the Falstad and Leeming.
That is very true. So right now we're just waiting on game 2 to start up between Donkeys R Us and the UNT Eagles. So we're going to cut to a quick break and play a little bit of music for you guys. So please enjoy, and
we'll be back soon, 2 a.m.
Yes.
your light on me? And can you shine your light on me? 'Cause when my love sets sail, it's always doomed to fail. Will you be my lighthouse, baby? Lighthouse, baby. Lighthouse, baby. Will you be my lighthouse, baby? And can you shine your light on me? And can you shine your light on me? 'Cause when my love sets sail, it's always doomed to fail. Will you be my lighthouse, baby? Lighthouse, baby.
Cursed.
Yeah, UNT Eagles, they need to go with a more traditional lineup, and if they have a Vikings player, this is the time to take it out and do it. Yeah, you try to get a win going, get some momentum going on your side. That the first game was a bit rough. They do bid out the Malthael. We haven't seen Donkeys R Us play Malthael yet, but I don't blame them for just not wanting to touch that at all. Malthael can be absolutely terrifying in the right hands. Yeah, we were talking about cheesy strats. Apather kind of lets you do that on Crystal Hollow, and I don't blame them for not wanting to get cheesed out of a game here. But Tahaka immediately picked up by the UNT Eagles. I feel like we've talked to death about how good Tahaka is right now in this meta. But mm-hmm.
Bring the mega death.
Genji. Yep. Pro Genji. Here we go. It's happening. Oh my goodness. Genji has been a nightmare for teams playing against him. I feel like tonight, and this might not be a different story. Greymane Rhaegar getting picked up, looking like a much more well-rounded team than they drafted last game. So I'm liking what UNT is doing right here. Hopefully these are more comfort picks for them.
Again.
Oh no. Oh no. Uther getting banned out here by UNT Eagles. Just getting rid of the Divine Shield Mosh. Very appropriate to remove that from Cursed Hollow especially. I do like the new rec ban on the side of Donkey's RS. With the Haka already picked, that you're more likely than not to be picking up a second warrior, and a Nubrak can really disrupt what Donkey's RS are trying to build right now, and I like that ban. So they have 2 more picks here. They do have a support to pick up. Rhaegar's already off the table. Malfurion isn't really picked up as much as a solo healer, so we'll have to see if they do pick up a second support here or second warrior. I would expect the second warrior to get picked up here to eliminate that pick from UNT Eagles, and it's going to be the Arthas.
If I'm the UNT Eagles, I need a second tank. ETC and Arthas are off the board. I'm looking at Johanna, Zarya. I'm looking at Zarya. Zarya would bring a lot of value to this comp. We see the Muradin and the Tehran. All right, let's go. We are looking for drags into arrows, boots to butts.
Boots to butts are going to be happening. This has me concerned though. We're again in this similar situation as last game, where you're relying a lot on Greymane's damage. Yes, Tehran can provide some of that damage, but is it going to be enough? We'll have to. This will be another test for UNT Eagles on execution here. I feel like this is a very high execution comp, and if they can do it, they can really dominate this game. But I am concerned after that first game for them.
Yeah, and I'm not really expecting ETC to go mosh pit here, just because of the size of the map. This is much more. Stage dive would get a lot more value out of here, as we saw out of Donkey's RS the previous set against Team No Sleep. It is late.
There we go. Li Ming gets picked up. So they are going with the solo Malfurion support. There's a lot of damage, a lot of poke. Li Ming provides some really solid interrupts to the tributes on this map. Can kind of hide around the corners behind the walls there, if you want to call them that, and just provide an annoyance of magic damage. And we'll have to see. It's going to come down to execution for UNT, like I said earlier, I think. And Greymane damage can be enough, but will it be in this game?
I feel like they do have enough lockdown on their side in order for that Greymane to get in there and at least get one pick off. But it's going to definitely be on the Muradin, the Haka, the Tehran to land those stuns effectively and consistently in order for him to be able to do his thing. So, but we're going to find out right now. This is game 2. between the UNT Eagles and Donkeys Are Us.
And Donkeys Are Us is going to be on the left side in the blue. We do have Jin playing Arthas, LZ Gamer on the ETC, Soryasarian on Leeming, Slice Blade on Genji, and Elhaim playing Malfurion.
And on the side of the UNT Eagles, we've got Calger on the, it looks like the Muradin Physicals on the Dahaka, a Quota on the Tehran, Aiken on the Rhaegar, and Z Fury on the Malfurion, or on the Greymane Malfurion. That's not even remotely close.
Close enough. We do see the first stage of this game start up as Donkeys R Us. They're just going to completely split to lane pressure to start things off. Not going to mess with the shenanigans of this 5-man thingy in the middle that everyone does.
Party at Mom's house, as I like to call it.
There you go. We do see Soryasarian pressured by 3 in the bottom lane, but that the leeming damage can be enough to really push back this lane. It looks like they might need to send a rotation down. It is exactly what they are doing. They're sending 3 down, so it's going to be a 4v3 engagement. Are they going to be able to catch someone out? They might be able to catch Tehran here. The root comes down. The damage is there. That is first blood for Donkeys R Us.
Yes, and we didn't even miss that one. But looking at the top real quick, we see Slice Blade throwing ninja stars everywhere, trying to hit physicals on that Dahaka and push him out of lane. And if I'm physicals, I kind of want to get a little aggressive, but the man or beast step right there, physicals is in a bit of trouble at this point.
Yeah, who else is in trouble? Soryasarian trying to push back this damage from UNT Eagles in this bottom lane. Oh, but they are going to get a return kill. They're going to get the Greymane. The rotation was just perfect there, and the root from Elhaim just was so phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a really good rotation. They did lose a bottom tower, though, in the process, and they're going to take over this vision on the bottom.
Wow, that's a really aggressive positioning by Donkeys R Us, but they're going to back off of this.
Yeah. Elsie's saying, no, that's mine. And then says, okay, you can have it for now. I'll share.
Interesting. Soryasarian going with a little bit of a different build than he has been on the Leeming before. Going for dominance this time. Wanting to give Elhaim a little bit of a break on keeping him up. As we are going to see an engagement once again over this vision, and a lot of damage coming out. LZ Gamer in a little bit of trouble. Does get into the thick of things, but is going to be able to walk this out. But Elhaim is the big one in trouble, and they're going to be able to secure a kill onto the Malfurion.
Yeah, this is a really dangerous situation right now for the Donkeys Are Us, and Soryasarian taking so much damage. Greymane just going in on her, gets the kill, and that's a 3-for-0 trade. That was a brilliant team fight.
Yeah, that was a great engagement by UNT Eagles, just continuing the damage. Oh, Genji just being obnoxious, throwing some shurikens, and oh man, that's a lot of damage actually on the Tehran, but I think that's going to be the last of the delay. No, this is Elhaim going to come in and Moonfire.
Yeah, this is...
They're just being obnoxious.
This is really obnoxious. Just it gave Donkeys R Us enough time to regroup and come back.
Yeah, and they're going to have a full 4v4 engagement. Oh no, we do see Uther in quite a bit of trouble. Muradin. Oh my goodness, I'm just screwing up the names tonight, but they do secure the kill. They do secure this first tribute of the game.
Yeah, that was just great. Oh, you think you had the tribute settled up, and then that Genji just comes over, and that's kind of on the tank right there for not being in position to just body block that. And this is gonna be a lost camp on the side of the UNT Eagles. They get a kill on the Muradin as well, and that was just great aggression coming out of Donkeys R Us.
Yeah, we do see level 7s available now for Donkeys R Us. We've been pretty quiet on the top side of this map. It's been definitely in favor of Donkey's RS, though, as they have some damage onto that fort already. And now there's another rotation into this bottom lane, and Z Fury and Aquota have to be careful and have to really know that this is coming. But here's the full engagement. Z Fury is not long for this world. The stun comes out, the power slide comes out, and that is it. Lights out for Greymane.
UNT's got to learn at some point that rotation is coming for him every time, being their main source of damage.
Yeah, they have the ability to push out with the power slide into the W for ETC, and that's been killing them every time because it's followed up by the great roots from Elheim.
Yeah, he's definitely been on point, watching for that power slide and that pinball coming out of the ETC to know exactly where to drop those roots, and it's just been making this Greymane's life just a hell.
Yeah, and we are actually going to see Calamity build come out from Soyuzarian on the Li Ming. Like I said, this build has been pretty different. EZC getting caught out in the middle here. LZ Gamer probably going to be able to walk away from this, though, as they look to potentially counter-engage with the Mouth and the Li Ming, as they are getting closer and closer to heroics.
And this is really dangerous on the side of even taking this fight that for the Eagles. I mean, if you got to take one, you got to take it now before before Donkey's RS hit 10. But they already lose Greymane, and now they're on the run. The Tehran does get to stand on too, but it's not going to matter. Murden goes down as well. And they've got to hold this curse now. And we've got to
curse. That's heroics now for Donkey's RS. They're going to, wow, they're completely ignoring this fort in mid and going to get this keep wall and keep towers down. Talk about aggressive.
Yeah, and really, they can't really stop them at this point.
Yeah, they're going to go into Tehran way deep under this keep, and they should be able to secure this kill very easily, and they do. As they get a 3-man route as well. Had they not been focused on Tehran, that might have been even more kills coming up. But Jin, in a little bit of trouble, is healed up. There comes the Malfurion heroic, and oh my gosh, this is just getting chaotic.
Yeah, this is quickly spiraled out of control for the Eagles. And
look at this creep wave in mid.
This is ridiculous.
This is a huge creep wave. This curse is just about to expire, so we are going to see Donkeys are at us back off of this.
Oh, that's nothing to look at.
But the damage is done.
Yeah, they got to, like, you never expect the other team to get a keep off the first wave, off the first curse. And they did it with a great aggression. And this isn't going to end. I can only say this is not going to end well.
No, this is scary position for UNT to be in. They're trying to back off this, and it's not going to go well for them. The Ancestral does land on the Tehran, but now Murden's going to be in trouble.
Yeah,
sorry, you can't deny yourself in this game, buddy.
This is not Dota. Take that somewhere else. And Donkeys make the smart play. They go grab this top boss. They'll probably go grab the bottom boss, or just push in with this boss.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive they decide to be. It looks like the call is to walk this boss in at least a little bit to guarantee the keep. Oh man, they get the root on the Greymane. Goodbye.
Yeah, that was a beautiful root. It was in the right spot at the right time. Caught him right on the cast point. There's nothing that Greymane could have done. This is... I don't want to say this is a foregone conclusion, but this is looking like it's a foregone conclusion. Murden tries to jump, gets rooted. Silence comes out. Dragon Blade's going on to everybody. And the Murden does go down with the dashing slice out of the Genji to get him back to the safety of his teammates. Jin just in there still.
Goodness.
The arcane orbs coming out. The mosh pit does nothing. And man, that's just It's so hard to call something like this sometimes, I feel, because the game is already over at this point.
Yeah, it is. That's going to be the core going down, and a 2-0 victory for Donkeys R Us. And yeah, maybe that last series did wake them up a bit, because they really
Yeah.
suck at 2 UNT Eagles here. And UNT Eagles,